Post show.
Post show.
So what was it? What was gonna be your rant, Brian?
Okay, I will continue it now. You seriously didn't know that Dave Grohl was
Right
in
back into it.
Nirvana?
No, I kid you not. Literally, I only know 2 songs from Nirvana. The main one being "Smell Like Teen Spirit." I've heard that years ago.
Right.
Then I watched The Bad Man, and "Something in the Way" came up, and that became like my favorite song for
Oh
like
yeah, I
3
forgot
weeks
that was in
straight.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, I only knew Kurt Cobain shot himself. Like, not even kidding.
That's
Kurt
that's
Cobain,
fine, but where
POV.
did
But
I mean, how did you think Dave Grohl was so well known? You just thought the Foo Fighters were that big
I
that
thought the
everybody
Foo
knew who
Fighters was huge. I mean, it's the Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters.
Foo
Those are Foo
Fighters.
But yeah, like I thought,
Huh.
yeah. Hold on, and I'll tell you this. Sometime in my head, the main singer of not Nirvana, of Pearl Jam is Dave Grohl. Like, not even kidding. Like, in
Eddie
my
Vedder.
head, yeah. Um, but yeah, I don't know much about like old
I
bands.
guess I just assumed that. Tony, did you know?
I did know that, but like I said,
Okay.
I can forgive Winston for not knowing because I'm
Right.
not a huge fan of either of those bands. No.
Right.
What's even
Ooh.
weirder is that the Pearl Jam's had several drummers, but when Soundgarden went away, the drummer of Soundgarden then joined Pearl Jam.
Right.
Do you know who Soundgarden is?
No, I do not.
Oh, jeez, man. Tony, you've heard of Soundgarden,
Yes.
yeah?
Soundgarden?
They're like one of the if you have the Mount Rushmore of grunge bands, it would be Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Nirvana.
There's an Asian guy on here in Soundgarden. Sorry. I was looking at our streams.
Kim
What?
Thale, is he the Asian guy? I guess the guitar player.
No, for Soundgarden,
Yeah.
his name is Hiro
Cornell?
Yamamoto.
Ah,
Oh, lead guitarist
Hero?
Kim Thale, yeah.
he was
Yeah.
he's not in the band. He was I think he was in the band like in the very very beginning.
You would maybe recognize Black Hole Sun, which was their big song.
Yeah. Black Hole Sun.
Yeah, that's Soundgarden.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know that
that's
song.
Soundgarden.
I also know it from TikTok, but
There you
yes.
go.
Right. But that,
Um,
yeah, I would say that would be the. I don't know if there's a fourth Mount Rushmore, but those three would be the three biggest. Did I say Alice in Chains? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately, lead singer Soundgarden killed himself. Lead singer Alice in Chains died of a drug overdose. Oh yeah, so yeah, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Nirvana. Those are the four of the Mount Rushmore of grunge.
a lot of like singer for bands died back in the day, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd say Stone Temple Pilots up there, but
They
Who
they
was
did,
the,
but they came after. They weren't the
Yes.
initial wave. And what's funny is like when they came out, they seemed to me as a early. I don't want to say early adopter of grunge because I just kind of that's. It wasn't like I heard it and then I liked it. I that was kind of what I was into because I had friends who's had older brothers like you got to listen to this stuff, man. From out of Seattle,
Right.
it's cool. But yeah, Stone Temple Pilots seemed like they were trying to cash in on the grunge thing, and it actually wasn't the case. I think they were from I think Los Angeles and then moved to Seattle, so it seemed like they were trying to jump in. But now, like in retrospect, I like Stone Temple Pilots more. I didn't really care for them that much when they came out.
What
Well,
about
you-
that?
time.
What about that one band with the Irish chick? The band that sang Zombies.
The Cranberries.
The Cranberries. Aren't they
Yes.
grunge too?
No,
No?
no, they were '90s alt rock, alternative rock. I would
okay.
say. Um,
I don't know
Yeah.
why I always thought they were grunge.
Same time. I mean, they're
yeah.
definitely '90s, but they that song is kind of hard, but they also had Linger, if you know Linger, and
Linger
that's
is really good.
yeah,
And
but
Linger
that's
is
not at
like
all
my
grungy. That's kind
Yeah.
of like light and floaty.
right. I like that type of stuff. Maybe I need to get into alternative rock more than grunge.
Alternative rock of the '90s, man.
Yeah.
You listen to the
Give me some
Sundays,
suggestion. Who else other than
the Sundays,
the Sundays? Not just Sundays, the Sundays.
the Sundays.
Red Hot Chili Peppers was
Oh,
Oh,
Red Hot
that's
Chili
true.
Pepper. I do
Yeah.
know of them.
Radiohead.
Technically, they were.
Ooh.
Who?
Radiohead.
Radiohead?
I'm not.
Radio.
I listen. I was just looking up top grunge bands, so I'm not going to trust everything Google's about to tell me because some of the things they put out there, I'm going absolutely not.
Yeah, I wouldn't put Radiohead as grunge.
No. I thought he was asking for alt rock recommendations.
No, this is alt rock. We're talking
Alternative
about
rock of the
yeah.
'90s. Okay, yeah,
Weezer.
Weezer?
yeah,
Alt rock?
Yeah,
Weezer, man.
is that
They're more like pop rock. I
now
feel.
they are, but in the 90s, you didn't hear anything like that. It was
Okay.
like they were different, and I did not like Weezer when they came out, but
Some of these I'm going see now again they're throwing Alice in Chains in here, and I'm with you, Brian. I'm going that's more grunge.
yeah,
Blind Melon is not an alt rock band.
but they were alternative rock in the
I
90s. But now they're like,
guess.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
Oasis.
I
I'm
don't
just
think
I'm
there's anything alternative about them. They were
no.
like about
It's
as mainstream as you can get.
Oh, The
man,
Cure.
The Cure was that was when we
that's
called it new wave. That was
Oh.
earlier. That was pre-grunge.
almost
Uh,
post punk.
What about the
Mhm.
Smiths?
I would put them in the
Same
same
as The Cure.
category.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sonic Youth.
So I
Sonic
never
Youth.
liked them. They're a noise band.
They're a
Like,
noise band. I had a one of my friends in high school. That was the name of his band for a while, and they're like, "Oh, I guess we can't call ourselves that." So, but they
That's a
had a
good
bunch.
name. That's a good
It's a
band
good name, but they had a
It's
bunch of
super cool.
merch that already had SY on it.
Ah.
So they changed their name to Sincerely Yesterday,
Oh,
which
that's
again,
pretty tough.
great band name.
That's a good
Super
band name.
tough,
Good
yeah.
band name.
A little long, but nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's a good. Yeah. That's a,
How do these guys come up with band names? Like that's what's I always like.
Do
I've
you
never
wanna-
been in a band, so I don't know how the process of coming up with the band name is like.
I don't either, but
Maybe
I've
Brian,
got a-
you can
yeah,
tell us.
I do have. Well, I have a story how my band name came up with its name, and I did.
Okay.
I didn't. I never liked
me-
my band name. Well, I
before
had two bands.
before you go on, I just want to make one more point. My friend who was in Sincerely Yesterday, one of the best like music scene concert experiences I'd ever been to. We're playing at this like lounge club in Johnstown, and he had this beautiful like lemon yellow guitar that in the middle of his set he cut like the top of one of his fingers on a string and bled on this yellow guitar.
Oh,
it was-
man.
It was amazing looking. It was awesome. It was just this bright
There
red
any
blood all over
pictures?
this yellow guitar. It was
That's so
incredible.
cool.
any pictures?
Nope. This is before. This is like
yeah.
old
yeah.
original cell phone days. It wouldn't have done it
Yeah.
any justice anyways.
Yeah,
but it was just
man,
like a bunch of people
Oh,
like
wow, that's-
almost in
yeah.
a mosh pit having a good time, and he's bleeding all over this yellow guitar, and I was just like, it's burned into my brain.
That's punk
so
rock.
crazy.
That's very
yeah,
punk
that's
attitude,
super punk.
man.
Yeah.
That is a good. The more I think about that, that is a very good band name.
Sorry, I
Sincerely
interrupted. Go
Yesterday.
ahead.
No,
but
no,
yeah.
no. That's a good story. No, it's just so they changed theirs because they had a band name and then they had to come up with it. Yeah. So I had two band names. One was a high school band, which was just a joke. That but the college band name, my big band, whatever.
Yeah.
We were called Broken Season, and I never liked that name. And as we were sitting around, as the band hung out a lot, or we're at practice, hanging out at the guitarist's house is where we practice because he could house everything. And I remember we were trying to come up with a band name because I think we had a gig. And he was literally just looking through Spin magazine, which is like Spin and Rolling Stone used to be kind of head and head. I mean, I'm sure Spin magazine's still around, but it was a music magazine like Rolling Stone. And he was just flipping through, and he was just looking at lines and articles. And the first one, he was like, last December, and he shouted that out. I was like, that's kind of a cool band name. I
Yeah.
was like, it doesn't really mean anything, but it's kind of a cool band name.
Yeah.
And then he just started looking at random words that started paragraphs, and he's like, Broken Season. Like he jumped down and
Yeah.
like we wrote that down, and somebody's like, yeah, that. And I was like, I don't think
You
anybody
didn't say
loved it.
anything, Brian. You
I
be
was,
like,
I was just
come on,
like,
guys.
yeah. I was like, yeah, I don't know. But we couldn't really come up with anything else, And so then we had a first gig, and we needed to have a name, and it was like we threw that out there, and then it then it went on a flyer, and then it was like, well, okay, that's kind of the band name. So
Yeah, Pearl
Prior-
Jam was there was like a necklace next to like some strawberry jar.
no,
that-
I think it was after somebody's Aunt Pearl. I think
Oh,
it was
really?
like somebody's Aunt Pearl's homemade jams or something like that.
That's
or
pretty cool, I
Something,
can't
something
lie.
dumb like that.
It's
Yeah.
better than this other one. Imagine getting big and going, oh crap, we named ourselves Butthole Surfers.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
a great band name to hear once, and then once you have to open and introduce yourselves as the Butthole Surfers at the
Yeah.
20th time, you're like, it's not funny anymore.
Yeah.
But they were punk. I think they liked it. So, fun fact, I saw the Butthole Surfers at the first Lollapalooza, and I
Yeah.
shit you not.
Yeah, you shit me not?
Yes. The dude came out, I forget what's his name. I forget what the lead singer's name is. He's got a funny fake name. Comes out with a sawed-off shotgun at Lollapalooza,
What?
freaking cranks it and fires it.
No way.
There's plenty of clips of it online.
Lead guitarist Paul Leary?
No, singer.
Singer
Who's the
Gibby
singer?
Haynes.
There you go, Gibby Haynes. That's right.
Nobody got hit with it? I mean,
I think it was a blank,
solid.
but the fact that he
Oh.
brought a gun on stage and shot it, like, I mean, it, like, I
That's
remember it, and they were
pretty badass.
early in the set. So one thing I noticed, I don't know if it's still kind of the same, but if you go to a show where there's multiple bands, you'll notice, or if you pay attention, that the opening band, the volume is usually low. Like
Yeah.
each band, it gets a little bit louder. And
Until you
so-
get to the main stage, right?
Yeah, and yeah, so the Butthole Surfers were pretty early in the day. It was still very much daylight out, but yeah, I don't remember anything other than that dude coming out with a shotgun and freaking firing it
That was crazy.
over. Yeah, it was nuts. But yes, that's a horrible name.
How do you think Depeche Mode got a name?
That
What is
means
Depeche?
fast fashion in French.
Didn't they get it from a magazine? Didn't we have this?
I think
talk
so.
about this
Yeah,
before?
yeah,
Did we?
yeah, we
Yeah.
did. Yeah, they were art school nerds.
Ah, okay.
But I'm
Well,
gonna
yeah.
I'm gonna wrap us up here again because it's about time.
Oh, it is.
All right.
It is.
Keep everybody on track. So hey, thanks for listening to the post show. A little more mellow, but that's what this is for. We
All
continue to yelling at Winston and talk about whatever else.
That's just crazy. That was crazy.
We
Yeah.
got back to the basics here. Yeah.
So all right, thanks everybody. We'll see you next time.
See
See
you
ya.
guys.